I'll take over the narration for this section.
Hi Rachel. I was remembering the second part of the film about deep democracy. I thought it was interesting.
Yes. And it makes me want to take some time to talk about conflict.
Why?
Well, earlier in the film, we talked about the transition from democracy to a deeper democracy. To understand even more why these new ideas about deep democracy are so needed, we need to think about some of the biggest problems that we face.
What do you mean?
Conflict is one of the biggest, and probably the most difficult thing for groups, organizations, and for our world. So we need to spend a little time thinking about it.
But conflict isn't the only thing that happens in groups, right? Why stress it here?
Of course you're right. But it's usually the most difficult part of relationship, group, and world life to deal with. Just look at the news, you know what I mean. So we need to take some time to think about it a little bit, and then we'll understand the importance of deep democracy, and the way it approaches conflict, politics, and community life.
Okay. That sounds right to me. Let's take a look.
Hi Rachel. How you doing?
I'm doing well, Sam. I'm explaining to Frank why it's important to think about conflict.
Oh great. Listen. She knows all about it.
That's great.
Thanks.
I've got to go. See you later.
See you later. Okay. We'll just take a brief look at conflict as if we were thinking about it for the first time. You know, with a beginner's mind.
Right.
Did someone mention conflict? I'm afraid of it. Sounds scary to me.
Me too. I want to run away.
Me too.
Me too.
I don't know what's wrong with them. Conflict is normal for me.
Yeah. I don't know what people are so afraid of.
I don't get it, either.
Me either.
Looks like there's a conflict in the air about conflict. Some are afraid of the topic, though for others, it's not scary at all.
Yeah. I can see that.
The debate between these two voices is really important, and we should remember that, for some, conflict is part of daily life. So, it's important to find ways to talk about it, and to have sustainable methods for dealing with it.
Sounds very important to me.
In any case, let's look at conflict in a somewhat light-hearted way so we all can think about it.
Okay. Let's get started.
Okay, if it's going to be lighthearted, I'll stay.
Don't make it too nice. Everyone likes a good debate now and then.
Phew. I'll do my best with this, but I'm sure I won't satisfy everyone.
Don't worry. Remember that it's important to appreciate differences of opinion. And that relationship is the point.
Oh yes. Thanks for the reminder. Okay. In brief, most conflict since the beginning of time seems to look something like this. Or conflict seems to be just about everywhere.
It sure seems that way to me.
Sometimes, we have conflict inside of ourselves, when we struggle with inner problems, and inner figures. Or, it's outside, between people. Whether it's in relationships, or between groups, countries, or nations. And people are certainly not the only ones who engage in it. In fact, perhaps it's just been there, since the beginning. Of course, some of us want to avoid it, if possible. Or at least some of the time. There are even times when we try to have a happy and peaceful time. And sometimes that does happen. But not in this picture, and not always.
And don't forget, depending on the individual person or culture, conflicting and interacting in this way may be more natural, while for others it might be more unknown.
Oh yes. Thanks for the reminder.
I definitely agree.
In any case, we do still live on one planet. You see, if we can't solve conflicts here, we might not be able to come together to solve problems here, like global warming or pollution.
So how do we deal with it?
The basic ideas of deep democracy and the practice of world work are an important direction in understanding and working with all types of group situations, including conflict, in a new, creative, and sustainable way. This new paradigm sees conflict and disagreement as important parts of our natural diversity, and then takes it all a step further. Okay, I hope that helps you understand more about conflict, and why world work is really needed. Thanks for listening. I'll see you later.
Thanks. That was interesting. See you later.